Now we continue with specific heat capacities. We have polyatomic gases. Polyatomic gases means in a molecule there are more than two atoms. So in general, polyatomic molecule has 3 translational, 3 rotational and certain number of vibrational degrees of freedom. This we are assuming. So a polyatomic molecule, surely it has 3 translational degrees of freedom and 3 rotational degrees of freedom. Along with that, there can be certain number of vibrational modes. And we know that for each translational degree of freedom, the energy associated it is half kBT. Same way, for each rotational degrees of freedom, the energy associated it is half kBT. But for one vibrational mode, the energy associated it is kBT. So using that, we have for 1 mole of gas, the total internal energy it is Na into, that is Avogadro number, into 3 by 2 kBT plus 3 by 2 kBT plus F into kBT, where F is the number of vibrational modes. So 3 by 2 kBT is the contribution from translational modes, and 3 by 2 it is from rotation, and F kBT it is from vibration. So the total energy we have, U is equal to 3 by 2 kBT plus 3 by 2 kBT plus F kBT into Na. So total energy U, it becomes 3 by 2 kBT into 2, it is 3 kBT plus F kBT into Na. So it becomes 3 RT plus F RT. This is the expression for total energy. So it can be written as 3 plus F into RT. So this is the expression for total internal energy of polyatomic molecule. Now Cv is equal to du by dt. So differentiating, we have Cv is equal to 3 plus F into R, and Cp is equal to Cv plus R. So it is 4 plus F into R. So we have Cv and Cp, and gamma is equal to Cp by Cv. So we will have 4 plus F divided by 3 plus F. Specific heat capacity of solids. In solids, we know each molecule is tightly bound with other molecules. So for the molecules inside the solid, translational motion and rotational motion is not possible, and the only possible motion, it is vibration. And for each molecule, the vibration can be in 3 dimension. So we can say that for one molecule there are 3 vibrational modes. 3 vibrational mode means there are 6 degrees of freedom. For each vibrational mode there is 2 degrees of freedom. So for 3 vibrational modes there will be 6 degrees of freedom. So the total internal energy per molecule in a solid, it will be 6 into half kBT, that is 3 kBT. So if we consider 1 mole of a solid substance, the total internal energy, it becomes 3 RT. Therefore, the molar specific heat capacity C is equal to delta Q by delta T, that is the same as delta U by delta T, that is equal to 3R. That means for solids, we are getting the specific heat capacity to be constant, which is 3R. Now, specific heat capacity of water. We treat water like a solid. Now, specific heat capacity of water. To find specific heat capacity of water using law of equipartition of energy, we treat water like a solid. You know, in each water molecule, there are 3 atoms, 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. And each atom has 3 kBT energy. For each atom, there is energy 3 kBT. So for the 3 atoms, we'll have 9 kBT as the total energy. So if we consider one molecule, there will be 9 kBT as the internal energy for one molecule. So for 1 mole, the total internal energy will be 9 RT, and we get the specific heat capacity as 9 R. So now we discuss the inadequacy of classical physics. Actually, law of equipartition of energy, it belongs to the branch of physics which we call as classical physics. Now the physics has come to the stage of quantum physics, which is totally different from classical physics. So what is wrong with this classical physics assumptions? When we use law of equipartition of energy to find specific heat capacities and all, we get all the values to be constant. That means it is independent of temperature. But in usual practice, when we go to low temperature, there is a marked departure from this prediction. That means we got, in the case of solid, we got the specific heat capacity to be a constant, that is 3R. And in the case of water, we got it to be 9R. And at low temperature, it is not found to be equal to 3R and 9R respectively. Specific heat capacities of all substances approach 0 as T approaches 0. This is related to the fact that the degrees of freedom get frozen and ineffective at low temperatures. But this fact is not taken into consideration in law of equipartition of energy or otherwise in classical physics. So in classical physics, the degrees of freedom remain unchanged at all temperatures. So this is the main problem or main drawback of classical physics. The behavior of specific heat at low temperatures shows the inadequacy of classical physics, and this behavior, that means the change in specific heat capacity at low temperatures, can be explained only with the help of quantum considerations, and that was done by Albert Einstein.